This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to SHN's presentation of the bi-district series between your Georgetown Eagles and the Navarro Vikings. This one about to get underway, and we will start right back where we were when the weather delay started last night. It finally got called after a couple of hours, and the storm just continued to get worse, and it wasn't going to clear up till right about midnight. And so now we're back at it, ready to go here in about 10 minutes. The four-man umpiring crew back here today as they take the field. Coach Jacob Anderson for the Vikings heads out, and Coach Vieira and Jared Frimmel will head out here. We'll take back up where we left off, the bottom of the second. The Eagles will be coming up to bat for their second time here in the ball game. Through 1.5 innings, the Vikings have no runs, no hits, and no errors. The Eagles as well, no runs, no hits through, and no errors through their half of an inning at the plate. We'll start right back up with Riley Leininger in the 4-hole. But we'll go back over the starting lineups real quickly, and the starting lineups are brought to you by...
Today's starting lineups are brought to you by G-Town Lumber and Supply. G-Town Lumber and Supply, located at 9400 Brown Lane in Austin, Texas, serves general contractors, subcontractors, and do-it-yourselfers. We specialize in dimensional lumber, decking, siding, door and windows, hand-hewn timbers, KDAT lumber, and corbels. Hometown service like none other. Visit us at 9400 Brown Lane in Austin, Texas, or visit our website at gtownlumberandsupply.com.
The Navarro Vikings coming out of 5A Region 3 District 24. Head coach Jacob Anderson, assistants Kyle Groover, David Avila, and Luis De Luna. The starting lineup, the roster in which they are going to leave everything the same. Batting first, playing third base, number 21, Ketty Votto. Batting second, the catcher, Damian Cervantes. Batting third, number 4, the shortstop, Bryce Pascal. Batting fourth, the pitcher, number 11, Navarro Ramirez. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 3, Brandon Galvan. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 14, Zach Tellez. Batting seventh and playing first base, number 18, Carlos Adame. Batting eighth and playing right field, number 9, Chris Torres. And batting ninth and center field, number 7, Brian Nieto. So Votto, Cervantes, and Pascal in the top third. Ramirez, Galvan, Tellez in the middle third. Adame, Torres, and Nieto in the bottom third of the Navarro Viking lineup. The starting lineup for your Georgetown Eagles, they are 21-12-1 overall. They lead this best-of-3 by-district series, 1-0. The winner of this game, if Georgetown wins, Georgetown advances to the area round of the playoffs. If Navarro wins, Navarro will cause a third game to be played today. It'll be about 30 minutes after this game. So a lot on the line for the Vikings to extend their season and for the Eagles to get out of here and let these boys get to prom. That shows is later this evening. The lineup for the Eagles offensively has not changed. Leading off in center field, number 17, that's Devin Peterson. Batting second, pitcher, number 4, Brady Peters. Batting third at second base, number 20, Talon Ball. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 21, Riley Leininger. Batting fifth, the shortstop, number 2, Eli Hellman. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 11, Jackson Rainey. Batting seventh and playing left field, number 10, Andrew Nations. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 7, Chance Pernica. And batting ninth, the right fielder, number 8, Jacob Faltasek. So Peters, and Ball in the top third for your Eagles. Leininger, Hellman, and Rainey the middle third. Nations, Pernica, and Faltasek in the bottom third of the Eagle lineup. Defensively for your Eagles, the changes. Nolan Jondal comes off of the mound and leaves the ball game. Brady Peters will leave third base and head to the mound, and he'll take over for the Eagles pitching here in game number 2. Riley Leininger will move from first base to third base, and David Fluitt, the super sophomore, will come out defensively for your Eagles at first base. So you'll have Nations, Peterson, and Faltasek in the outfield, left to right, and then you'll have Leininger at third, Hellman at short, Ball at second, Fluitt at first base. Behind the plate, Pernica, and on the mound, the senior right-hander, number 4, Brady Peters. So the Vikings have come out to the field as they will get warmed up to start here in the bottom of the second inning. This will be the third day in a row that we'll see Neighbor Ramirez on the mound. He threw just 28 pitches back on Thursday night in game number 1 at Nelsonville. Only had 13 pitches through 1 inning last night, and so he'll be able to start here today on the pitch count of 13 pitches since it is a continuation game. And so his pitch count is well under control for head coach Jacob Anderson. The Eagles will start off with the 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup, due up, and John Peters down, waving the flag, trying to get this crowd going. And a good turnout here for an early 11 a.m. start. A lot of the Eagle fans have poured back in here, and so hopefully the Eagles will just kind of right the ship. A slow start there in the top of the first, but it was a delayed start. Things just thrown off, and you could tell no one was really comfortable as things got going, and then the lightning strike occurred. The storms came in, and we all got to go home and get in our beds. But now it's back underway here at 11 o'clock. Start to pick up and play this game number 2. It's brought to you by ATC Contractors Incorporated, proud sponsors of the Bi-District Series that helps bring you Georgetown Eagle baseball live and free here on SHN. Thank you so much to that company for their support of Eagle baseball. If the Eagles are able to move on to the area round, more sponsors are waiting in the wings to bring you free baseball, and we appreciate it here at SHN. It just makes it easy for us to bring you these games each and every time, and no one has to go pay for them because of awesome sponsors like ATC. And so we are sure appreciative, and as we get ready to go here in the bottom of the second, Riley Leiniger will lead us off for the Eagles. He is in the bottom, or the number 4 slot, playing third base. The big left-hander will step in here for his first plate appearance of the ball game here in the bottom of the second. Navarro Ramirez on the mound, the right-hander for the Navarro Vikings, the sophomore. And he throws from the stretch, works from the middle of the rubber as he looks in and gets a sign from the catcher Cervantes. Comes set. The first pitch is underway. This one sails high for ball 1 to Riley Leiniger. 1-0 the count. Leiniger, Hellman, and Rainey due up here in the bottom of the second for your Eagles. Ramirez gets the sign, the 1-0 pitch. That one sails high. Ball 2, 2-0 count here to Leiniger on the season. Leiniger sits. Well, that's the pitching stats. In the batting stats, Leiniger sits with a .312 average overall through 33 games that he's appeared in. As he leads off the bottom of the second here in this restart after the weather delay. The 2-0 pitch from Ramirez on the inside corner, called strike 1. 2-1 now the count to Riley Leiniger. The junior right-handed throwing, left-handed batting third baseman. Leiniger back in from the left side. Ramirez gets the sign from Cervantes. The 2-1 pitch. This one stays inside for ball 3. Now Leiniger way ahead in the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. Riley ready to go. Ramirez comes set. The 3-1 pitch. This one's inside. Ball 4 and a leadoff walk for the Eagles. Has their first base runner of the ball game. The Eagles went in order in the top of the first last night. And now in steps the senior shortstop, number 2, Eli Hellman. Eli steps in. The .304 batting average on the season through 25 games played. Appearing in his 26th here. No outs in the bottom of the second inning. Leiniger will lead off first after the leadoff walk, being held on by Adambe over there at first base. Ramirez gives a look, now comes set in the stretch. The first pitch to Hellman, he'll square to bunt, pull it back, and take it high for ball 1. A lot less wind here today than there was last night with the storms brewing and blowing in. The flags very relaxed in center field. 1-0 count to Hellman, the 1-0 pitch. Squares the bunt, he'll bunt it out in front of the mound. Hellman down the baseline. Ramirez is going to have to hurry. The throw down just in time. Oh, what a play there. Ramirez to field his own position, but a beautiful sacrifice bunt by Eli Hellman moves the runner into scoring position with just 1 out. Here in the bottom of the second inning, 1-3 on the putout to retire Hellman on that sacrifice bunt. Now Leiniger up to second base. As now number 11, the junior designated hitter Jackson Rainey steps in. Rainey bats from the left side as he steps in here with 1 out, a runner at second base. Leiniger leads off second, being held close there by Pascal. Ramirez a look back to second base. The first pitch to Rainey, up high and outside, ball 1. Andrew Nations moves to the on-deck circle for the Eagles as Jackson Rainey steps back in from the left side. Leiniger leads off second. Pascal holds him on there. Ramirez comes set. The 1-0 pitch to Rainey. Rainey check swing down the third baseline. It's going to stay fair. He'll look over at it. Rainey down the line, and he'll beat it out. An infield single on an check swing base hit on the infield. Votto came up and had to look the runner back to second, and by the time he threw it across, Jackson Rainey got down the line. So now the Eagles have base runners on first and second. An base hit, the first of the ball game for either team. Has Jackson Rainey down at first base. Leiniger stays put at second, and in steps Andrew Nations, the left-handed hitting left fielder. Number 10, the junior for the Eagles. Nations steps in with a .254 batting average, appearing in his 32nd ball game of the year. The first pitch to Nations, squares the bunt, bunts it down the third baseline, bounces fair, but it's going to spin foul. And so we'll all reset. Leiniger back to second base, Rainey back to first, and Nations will have to come back to the plate. 0-1 will be the count. Bunt landed about 15 feet down the line, fair, but then spin on that turf, kicked it foul. And now we'll reset with no balls and one strike. One out here in the bottom of the second. Game number 2 of this bi-district series between the Navarro Vikings and your champion, Georgetown Eagles. Eagles 1 win away from moving on to the area round 2 of the playoffs. Ramirez comes set, the 0-1 pitch to Nations. The big bender up and in, and just misses Nations. Now it's 1-1 the count. Defensively for the Vikings, Tellez in left, Nieto in center, Torres in right field. Votto at third base, Pascal at short, Galvan at third, Adame at first base. The 1-1 pitch from Ramirez. Outside, ball 2, 2-1 now the count to Andrew Nations. Behind the plate, Damian Cervantes, and on the mound, the sophomore right-hander, Navarro Ramirez for the Vikings. 2 balls and a strike to Andrew Nations here in his first plate appearance of game number 2. 1 out with runners on first and second. A leadoff walk by Leininger and an check swing base hit on the infield by Jackson Rainey. Has the runners at first and second with 1 out. Ramirez a look back at second base, and now the 2-1 pitch. Outside and low, ball 3, and now a hitter's count for Andrew Nations. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here the dugouts get going, and now a balk called, and Coach Anderson is going to come out and talk about that with the umpire to see what's going on. So with the balk call, Nations will have runners in scoring position at second and third with 1 out. So a timely base hit can open this one up for the Eagles here in the bottom of the second. Rainey moves up to second base. Leininger down to third on that balk, the first one of the ball game call. So a big mistake there. And now a hitter's count for Nations. So an opportunity here for Georgetown with 1 out and runners on second and third. A 3-1 count to Nations. The 3-1 pitch. It's in there, a swing and a miss, strike 2. Coach Vieira talks to Nations. Super fan John Peters trying to get this crowd going. The 3-2 pitch to Nations. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. We're out number 2. Second strikeout of the ball game for Ramirez. Struck out Talon Ball to end the first inning. And now Chance Pernica, the senior catcher, will come up with 2 outs and runners on second and third base. Pernica steps in. Batting .196 on the season. Overall, he missed several games. He's appearing in his 22nd game of the year. Ramirez will come set. The first pitch to Pernica. Outside corner called strike 1. Pernica back in. The 0-1 pitch from Ramirez. Stays high, ball 1, evens out the count at 1-1 now with 2 outs and runners on second and third for Georgetown here in the bottom of the second inning. Ramirez comes set. The 1-1 pitch. And this one up, and it's a check off the bat. It went over his shoulder. Leininger is going to scoot past. Ramirez can't get the ball in his glove. You couldn't write that script and believe it if you didn't see it, folks. The ball went over the head and the back of Chance Pernica, and it hit his bat as it was on his shoulder and goes fair. Leininger takes off with it. Rainey as well. Pernica runs down to first base, and Ramirez comes off the mound and tries to field it and tag Leininger. Can't pick up the ball, and Leininger scores. So the Eagles will take a 1-0 lead. And now the third base umpire over to talk to Coach Anderson. So as it sits, the Eagles will have runners at first and second. And that was so crazy, and it's so funny. I laugh out of it. I can't believe what I just saw as the pitch was behind Pernica, and it hit his barrel and goes into fair territory. And so the umpire came over to talk to Coach Anderson, but when Ramirez tagging the ball was not in his glove as he tried to scoop it and tag Leininger. And so Leininger reaches or scores. the first run of the ball game. An RBI for Pernica. Rainey up to third base. And now in steps Jacob Faltasek, the senior right fielder, number 8. First pitch to Faltasek, a swing and a miss, strike one. So the Eagles get their first run of the ball game in the most bizarre way. But we'll take it as they get a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. Runners on the corners. Cord Lawrence on the courtesy run for the catcher, Pernica. Adame holds Lawrence on there at first base. He gets a good sizable lead. Cord Lawrence off on the pitch. The 0-1 pitch in there for a called strike. A throwback cut off by Ramirez. And Rainey gets back to third base. Coach Beard talking to him. Hey, a little bit quicker would be nice. Stolen base for Cord Lawrence as he gets down to second. Now runners on the corners. An 0-2 count to Faltasek. Faltasek in the top of the first on Thursday night had a big 2 RBI single, the first hit of the game to break up the no-hitter for the Eagles. Now the 0-2 pitch down low and outside. Nice stop by Cervantes as that one skipped in through the left-handed batter's box. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Faltasek. So we'll try to see what happened on what they scored on the play for Pernica. I believe it's going to be a fielder's choice, and it is. So Pernica reaches on a fielder's choice, but the RBI. The 1-2 pitch outside and low for ball 2. Now a 2-2 count to Jacob Faltasek. The number 9 hitter in the Eagle lineup. That brings Devin Peterson to the on-deck circle. Should Faltasek be able to extend this one for the Eagles? 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Georgetown a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. The 2-2 pitch. And it's in there, but it stays just high through the zone, and now it's a full count to Jacob Faltasek. Full count to Jacob Faltasek, 2 outs, bases, runners on second and third. Ramirez comes set. The payoff pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. And the Eagles are down here in the bottom of the second, but not before they pick up 1 run on 1 hit. No errors and 2 runners left on base. After 2 complete innings, Georgetown 1, Navarro nothing. More Eagle baseball after this on SHN.
The second inning of today's game is brought to you by G-Town Lumber and Supply. G-Town Lumber and Supply, located at 9400 Brown Lane in Austin, Texas, serves general contractors, subcontractors, and do-it-yourselfers. We specialize in dimensional lumber, decking, siding, door and windows, hand-hewn timbers, KDAT lumber, and corbels. Hometown service like none other. Visit us at 9400 Brown Lane in Austin, Texas, or visit our website at gtownlumberandsupply.com. This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you.
As we go to the top of the third inning, Brady Peters on in relief here at the top of the third for the Eagles with a 1-0 lead after 2 complete innings. An inning and a half last night of scoreless, hitless baseball. And now the Eagles here to open things up in the restart, get a base hit, score 1 run, and take the 1-0 lead after 2 complete innings. Riley Leiniger goes from first base to third base defensively. David Flewitt, the sophomore, down at first base for the Eagles. So defensively, you'll have Nations in left, Peterson in center, Faltasek in right field, Leiniger at third, Hellman at short, Talonball at second, and Fluid at first base. Behind the plate, Chance Pernica. On the mound, Brady Peters to face off against Adame, the number 7 hitter. First pitch, swinging, he sends it into center field. In comes Peterson, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. L8 in the book to retire Adame. And Brady Peters starts it off right. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top half of the third inning. In steps Chris Torres, the right fielder. The first pitch from Peters in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count. In 2 innings of work, Nola John Dalton only threw 24 pitches. Struck out 3, didn't allow a hit or a base runner. The 0-1 pitch from Peters. A swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 the count now to Torres. On deck is Brian Nieto, the center fielder. for the Vikings. The 0-2 pitch. A foul ball back to the net. And so Torres stays alive in the at-bat. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. From the windup, the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Torres is down for out number 2. First strikeout of the ball game for Peters, 4th of the ball game for Eagle pitching. On the season, Brady Peters has thrown 9 2/3 innings before this. Correction, that's during district. Overall, Peters has thrown 22 1/3 innings. Swing and a miss by Nieto, strike 1, 0-1 to count. On the year, a 2.821 ERA, batting average against of 205 by opposing hitters. The 0-1 pitch in there, called strike 2. And Peters works quickly here. No balls and 2 strikes to the number 9 hitter, Brian Nieto, the center fielder. Nieto from the right side, Peters from the windup. The 0-2 pitch. And a ball sent down the left field line. High fly ball. And a long run for Nations, but it is going to curl foul and hits off the top of the chain link fence down the 3rd baseline. So Nieto stays alive in the at-bat. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Nieto returns. Nations and Hellman return to their spots after long runs down the line. And now Peters working out of the first base side of the rubber on the windup. The 0-2 pitch, foul ball back towards the 3rd base dugout. Look at that barehanded grab by one of the Eagle players. And the count stays 0-2 as Nieto fights off some pitches here. Down 0-2 in the count with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd. Peters gets the sign from Pernica. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball stays high. The count now 1-2. On the year, an 0-1 record for Peters. 2 saves and 2 save opportunities. He did a great job through district play as one of the 2 closers. The 1-2 pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 3. And Peters strikes out 2 of 3 hitters to get the Vikings in order here in the top of the 3rd. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. After 2.5 innings, Georgetown 1, Navarro 0. More Eagle baseball on SHN after this.
3rd inning of today's game is brought to you by Nathaniel Funk, your Leander Georgetown Edward Jones financial advisor at 1640 Highland Falls Drive, Suite 801, Leander, Texas 78641. Learn how he can help you with your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com/Nathaniel Funk for more. Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you.
We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Georgetown Eagles come up to bat. It'll be the top of the lineup. Devin Peterson will lead it off with Brady Peters and Talon Ball due up against neighbor Ramirez. A 1-0 lead for your Eagles. The pitch from Ramirez, up and in, ball 1. To Devin Peterson. Peterson 0 for 1 in the ball game. Flew out to the right fielder back in 1st inning last night. Peterson back ready to go. The 1-0 pitch. Peterson hits it out. Shortstop builds it. He's going to have to make a throw a long way, and Devin Peterson beats it down the line. A nice play in the hole there by Pascal, but a beat out there on the infield single by Devin Peterson. 2nd hit of the ball game for your Eagles. Peterson coming into the ball game batting .346. And does a good job there to lead off the top of the bottom of the 3rd inning with the leadoff single. Infield hit there, 2nd hit of the ball game for the Eagles. And in steps your pitcher, number 4, Brady Peters. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game, grounded out to the 2nd baseman Galvan last night. Throw over to first base, and Peterson slides back in safely there. Adame holds him on at first. Here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Georgetown 1 run in the bottom of the 2nd. To break the scoreless tie, 1-0. Peters squares the bunt. A throw to first base. Gets away from Adame. And Peterson is going to take off. He circles 2nd base. I think he thought he heard a balk call. And so he kind of hesitated like it was a dead ball. But Peterson gets up to second base, and that'll be a throwing error on the pitcher. See how they score it in the official scorebook. Yep, they're going to score it an error. There'll be a throwing error there. Move. So E1. First error of the ball game. And now Peterson into scoring position. So Brady Peters should be able to swing away here. First pitch from Ramirez to Peters. He'll square the bunt. Pulls it back. Takes it low for ball one. Adame playing up on the grass at first base. But the third baseman, Votto, stays about even with the bag at third base. So Peters can lay this down the third base line. Maybe able to beat out a bunt for an infield single. Ramirez comes set. Peterson off and running. The square to bunt. He pulls it back and takes it low. And Peterson read that one and stole that base standing without a throw. Nice play there. So now the runner in scoring position at third base. And a 2-0 count to Brady Peters with no outs. Peterson just 90 feet away. Peters ready to go. Ramirez comes set. The 2-0 pitch. And Peters sends a deep one to left center or left field over the head of Tellez. He backs up and he makes the catch. Nice play by Tellez as he scrambled back and makes the catch. But a beautiful sac fly by Brady Peters. And he can't believe it. He's at second base thinking, I got him. I thought I got him. Oh, what a beautiful sac fly RBI to score Peterson from third base. I thought Peters had him as well as he got a hold of that one. But F7 in the book to retire Peters, but not before the Eagles pick up a run on that sac fly. And that'll bring up Talon Ball with the bases empty and one run across here in the bottom of the third. One out. The first pitch to Talon Ball. This one's up and in, and that hits him on the back. And Talon Ball will head down to first base on the hit by pitch. And first batter hit by a pitch tonight for the Eagles. First one by Ramirez. The other night, 6 batters were hit by pitches by the Vikings on Thursday night. And in steps Riley Leininger with one out and a runner at first base. Leininger in his first plate appearance of the ball game to lead off the bottom of the second inning. Reached on a wall, came around to score the first run of the ball game for the Eagles. Steps in here with a runner at first and one out. Talon Ball, a good lead at first base. He's off on the pitch. Pitch in, and Leininger pops it up right side of the infield. Talon Ball will have to scramble back to second base. Pascal will field it right at second base on the bag for out number 2. So that'll be, I'm going to go with a fly ball. That was no pop-up. Fly ball to the shortstop. P6 in the book officially to record the out as Pascal makes the catch. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the third, and in steps Eli Hellman. He's 0 for 0 in the ball game. A beautiful sac bunt to move Leininger into scoring position last inning. Steps in here. An opportunity to continue the noise in the second inning. One run across so far for the Eagles. Leininger leads off first base, or Bala leads off. He takes off. Hellman takes the pitch for a called strike, and Talon Ball slides in safely at second base with the stolen base. Second of the ball game for the Eagles. Now a runner in scoring position, 0-1 count to Eli Hellman. Ball leads off second base. Galvan and Pascal back and forth to keep him close. Ramirez comes set. The 0-1 pitch to Hellman. He'll square to bunt, pulls it back and takes it low and inside, ball one. 1-1 count to Eli Hellman. Eagles have one across here in the bottom of the third, a 2-0 lead over Navarro. A look back at second base. The 1-1 pitch. Eli bunts it out in front of the mound. He's motoring down the line. An infield bunt single. And Talon Ball is going to come around to score from second base. A beautiful bunt single by Talon Ball, or by Eli Hellman, scores Talon Ball from second base. And the Eagles' third run of the ball game. The first base umpire ended up keeping that ball from going to the outfield. As it popped up off the turf, hit him in the leg, stayed on the infield, but Talon Ball paying attention on 2 outs and running. Hellman off and running. The first pitch to Jackson Rainey is on the inside corner, called strike 1, but Eli Hellman still second base. So now another runner in scoring position for the Eagles. Another stolen base as well, the third of the ball game. And an 0-1 count to Jackson Rainey. He's 1 for 1 on the day. He had the check swing, single on the infield. Back in the second inning, the 0-1 pitch. Inside corner, called strike 2. An 0-2 count to Jackson Rainey, the designated hitter. Ramirez comes sent. The 0-2 pitch to Rainey. And Rainey sends it into right center field. The center fielder, Nieto, on the run, and he'll make the catch in right center field for out number 3. F8 in the book to retire Rainey, but not before Georgetown is able to pick up 2 more runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 runners left on base, or 1 runner left on base. After 3 complete innings, Georgetown 3, Navarro nothing. More Eagle baseball after this on SHN.
The third inning of today's game is brought to you by Nathaniel Funk, your Leander Georgetown Edward Jones financial advisor at 1640 Highland Falls Drive, Suite 801, Leander, Texas 78641. Learn how he can help you with your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com/Nathaniel Funk for more. The Morrow from Morrow broadcast booth is sponsored by our friend and longtime supporter Matt Morrow at borrowfrommorrow.com. Matt Morrow and his team is dedicated to providing the best mortgage experience possible by offering easy-to-use mortgage tools, including our handy mobile app, competitive rates, and assistance from a certified mortgage advisor. Matt understands the local markets, has access to a wide variety of loan programs, and is ready to guide you through the process. Your family, your future, our focus. For your mortgage needs, remember Matt Morrow, Borrow from Morrow. For more information, visit borrowfrommorrow.com. NMLS number 464148.
And we go to the top of the 4th inning. Peters on for his second inning of work in relief here in this game number 2 of this best of 3 series here in the bi-district round. Your Eagles lead the series 1-0 and lead this one 3-0 as we go to the top of the 4th inning. In steps the top of the lineup, Ketty Votto to lead off for the Vikings. Votto, Cervantes, and Pascal due up. Peters will work from the windup. First base side of the rubber gets the sign, and the first pitch of the inning is up and in. Ball 1. Votto gets out of the way of that one. 1 ball and no strikes. Votto 0 for 1 in the ball game. The 1-0 pitch in there for a called strike. 1-1 now the count. Peters in his first inning of work threw 11 pitches, struck out 2. Faced the minimum 3 batters there. The 1-1 pitch, the breaking pitch, just misses the inside corner for ball 2. 2-1 the count now. To Ketty Votto, the leadoff man, the third baseman for the Vikings. The 2-1 pitch, breaking pitch, just misses the inside corner. Nice location. Not sure where that one missed too much, but 3-1 now the count. To Votto. The 3-1 pitch fouled off back to the screen. And now a full count to the leadoff man, Votto. Brady Peters from the windup. The payoff pitch to Votto. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Or out number 1, third strikeout. 4 Peters and 4 batters faced. 6th strikeout of the ball game of Viking hitters. And in steps number 2, Damian Cervantes, the catcher. He struck out looking in the first inning. From the windup, the first pitch, up and in, ball 1. Cervantes back in, now a timeout here. You're seeing that a lot from Viking hitters. They step in, the Eagle pitcher's ready to go. He didn't want to go that fast. The 1-0 pitch, just high for ball 2, 2-0 the count. Two balls and no strikes to Cervantes, the 2-0 pitch. Inside, ball 3. I like that. We can hear the umpire on the crowd mic. I can hear him in my ear. He said inside. 3-0 the count to Cervantes, the 3-0 pitch. Inside, a 4-pitch walk as the first base runner of the ball game for the Vikings. Reach first base, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Bryce Pascal. He grounded out to the shortstop, Hellman. Back in the top of the first inning last night. Steps in here with 1 out and a runner at first base. Cervantes leads off second base. First pitch to Pascal. Cross on the outside part of the plate for strike one. 0-1 count to Pascal. Cervantes being held on by Fluid at first base. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, catches the inside corner, strike two. Nice backdoor action there for an 0-2 count. Now to Pascal with one out. Here in the top of the fourth, a big lead by Cervantes. The 0-2 pitch just misses. A beautiful. Coach Vieira, listening to Coach Vieira, I apologize to hesitate. Coach Vieira asking Chance where it missed. Beautiful backdoor slider. 1-2 count to Pascal. A throw over to first, and they should have him. And they got him. A pickoff for Brady Peters to retire the runner, Cervantes. Now, what a job by Peters. The pitch before, I thought Cervantes was getting a little bit big of a lead. And Brady Peters picks him off there, the first person to be picked off here in the ball game, and that scratches the first runner of the ball game. The 1-2 count to Pascal. Fly ball sent into left center field. Devin Peterson has a read on it, settles under it, makes the catch for out number 3. The Eagles face the minimum again here in the top of the fourth, and after 3.5, Georgetown 3, Navarro nothing. More Eagle baseball in just a moment on SHN.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you.
And we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Georgetown 3 runs on the board. Navarro 0. The Eagles 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors. The Vikings no runs, no hits, 1 error. And the Eagle pitchers have faced the minimum here in the ballgame thanks to a beautiful pickoff there by Brady Peters to retire the only man to reach base for the Vikings on the base on balls. So that's how you right the wrong there. Peters walked him on 4 pitches and then picks him off the base. They face the minimum number. Still a no-hitter going here in game number 2. A combined no-hitter in game number 1 on Thursday night at Nelson Field. On the arms of Riley Leininger and Kyle Ropolo. Leininger threw 4 solid innings. Got out of trouble in the second after walking the bases loaded and left him stranded. And then Ropolo comes in the 5th inning and shuts things down to get the Eagles out of there early in the ball game at the 5-inning run rule. The first pitch to Andrew Nations as he leads off the bottom of the 4th is up high for ball 1. Andrew Nations, your left fielder, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Struck out back in inning number 2. Steps in here to lead us off in the bottom of the 4th. Nations, Pernica, and Faltasek due up. The 1-0 pitch from Ramirez. Stays high, ball 2. Nations ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Nations back in, ready to go. Ramirez comes set from the stretch, the 2-0 pitch. Up and in, ball 3, and now a 3-0 count. A beautiful hitter's count here. I have to imagine Coach Vieira doesn't even have to signal anything that Nations will be taking on the 3-0. Nations back in. Ramirez comes set, the 3-0 pitch. And it's down low, a leadoff walk for the Eagles. Nations heads down to first base. The second walk issued by Navarro Ramirez will bring up the senior catcher, Chance Pernica. Reached on a fielder's choice. But had an RBI out of that one, I do believe. Let's check it. He did get an RBI on that fielder's choice as Leininger came in to score on that, excuse me, bizarre play. You can't even say excuse me. He ducked out of the way of getting hit by a pitch, and it hit his bat behind his back and went into fair territory. Nation's a good-sized lead off first base, held on by Adame. Ramirez will come set from the stretch. The first pitch, Nations takes off running. Cervantes throws down. It sails high, and that allows Nations to slide under the tag safely. Third stolen base of the ball game for the Eagles. A 1-0 count to Chance Pernica. No outs and a runner at second base for the senior catcher. 0 for 1 in the ball game on that fielder's choice to reach base, and then his position left stranded at second. The 1-0 pitch up and in. 2-0 the count now to Pernica. Faltasek on deck for the Eagles. Your right fielder. Pernica settles back in from the right side. Galvan and Pascal back and forth at second to try to keep Nations close. The 2-0 pitch to Pernica. Just inside. Delayed steal there by Nations, and he slides in safely at third base. Cervantes' throw was to the foul side of third base, and Nations a good jump there on the delayed steal. And Still's third base now just 90 feet away in scoring position for Pernica. A 3-0 count to the senior catcher. Pernica back in for the right side as Ramirez gets the sign from Cervantes. The 3-0 pitch to Pernica. Pernica lays off and takes it across the outside part of the plate for a called strike. 3-1 now. Pernica back in from the right side, ready to go. 3 balls, 1 strike, no outs, a runner at third base here in the bottom of the fourth for the Eagles. The 3-1 pitch. Up and in, ball 4. Pernica draws a walk. Reaches base for the second time in the ball game. Third walk issued by Ramirez. And that'll allow Cord Lawrence to head out. The courtesy run at first base for the catcher, Chance Pernica. Cord Lawrence had a stolen base in the last time out to base to run for Pernica in the second inning. It was left stranded there, and in steps Jacob Faltasek. An infield meeting here with the Navarro Vikings. You'd love to see the teammates gather around Ramirez, a sophomore, but that'll bring Coach Jacob Anderson out of the dugout for a visit. Let's take a quick timeout. More Eagle baseball on this after this on SHN.
Is brought to you by Nathaniel Funk, your Leander, Georgetown, Edward Jones financial advisor at 1640 Highland Falls Drive, Suite 801, Leander, Texas 78641. Learn how he can help you with your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com/Nathaniel Funk for more.
So a pitching change here in the bottom of the fourth for the Navarro Vikings. Neighbor Ramirez will come out of the ball game. Head to third base, and the third baseman, Ketty Votto, the junior right-hander, will come to the mound in relief for the Vikings here. He'll inherit base runners at first and third with no outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Votto started game number 1 at Nelson Field on Friday and did not make it out of the first inning. A rough start there as he hit 3 batters in 2/3 plus innings. That was weird. It's like alien music coming in my ear. I apologize. Votto went 2 1/3 plus innings. Allowed 1 hit, gave up 10 runs, struck out 1, walked 5. In the 2/3 inning, walked and hit 3 batters and came out of the ball game. And now he comes on in relief here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Nations will be down at third base. Cord Lawrence, the courtesy runner for Pernica, down at first base. And that's all for Neighbor Ramirez here in this series. Did a good job for the Vikings. The young sophomore. And his book's still open on him as he's still responsible for the runners on base in Nations and Lawrence. And now Jacob Faltasek, 0 for 1 in the ball game, will step in here with runners on the corners and no outs. Faltasek 1 for 1 the other night on Thursday night, a 2 RBI single in the first, hit by a pitch in the second, walked in the fourth. Steps in here with runners on the corners and no outs. Votto from the stretch. Lawrence off and running. First pitch, outside corner, called strike one. And a stolen base by Lawrence. Has runners at second and third. 0-1 the count to Faltasek. Devin Peterson on deck for the Eagles. Votto a long look in. Now comes set. The 0-1 pitch to Faltasek. Breaking ball just misses. Evens up the count at 1-1. One ball, one strike, no outs. Runners at second and third here in the bottom of the fourth. Faltasek back ready to go. Votto comes set in the stretch. The 1-1 pitch. Up and away, ball two. The last time Faltasek faced Ketty Votto, he sent a ball into left field, a 2 RBI single with 2 outs in the top of the first on Thursday night. Settles back in here with a 2-1 count. The 2-1 pitch, outside corner, just misses for ball 3. Now 3-1 the count to the senior right fielder, Jacob Faltasek. Headed to Tarleton State next year as a freshman. Back in, the 3-1 pitch. Fouled off back to the screen, and now a full count to Jacob Faltasek. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning, Georgetown a 3-run lead. 1 run in the bottom of the second, 2 in the bottom of the third. Threatening here in the bottom of the fourth with runners on second and third and no outs. Faltasek back in for the right side, chokes up, ready to go. Votto a look in. It's the sign from Cervantes, comes set in the stretch. The payoff pitch. Low and outside, ball 4. And Andrew Nations is going to scramble home as that one got away from Cervantes. And so now runners on first and second. The base on balls for Faltasek. First one issued by Votto. But Nations heads up base running there from third base as that didn't get too far away from Cervantes. But he'll score on the play. Calls it on a passed ball that he scores on. And now Devin Peterson steps in, 1 for 2. First pitch to Peterson. He takes it on the inside corner for a called strike. Devin steps in, 1 for 2 in the ball game. Flew out in the first, singled and scored a run in the third. Peterson steps back in, 0-1 count. Runners on first and second. The 0-1 pitch. Big bender comes in but misses the target. Crosses a little too high and inside. 1-1 the count now to Peterson. No out still here in the bottom of the fourth. Georgetown won across, has extended their lead 4-0. The 1-1 pitch, ground out to third. Ramirez fields it. He'll throw across the diamond, but sails it over the head of Adame. And Cord Lawrence will come down to score. Faltasek all the way around for first. Here he comes towards the plate. Adame's throw not in time. And Devin Peterson gets all the way to third on the error. Navarro Ramirez at third fielded the ball. Thought he was going to step on third base. Threw it across the diamond, but over the head of Adame. And so that error ends up costing 2 runs and a runner to third base. So E5 in the book on that play. Lawrence from second scores, and Faltasek motors all the way around from first base. And the Eagles have opened it up to a 6-run lead now, 6-0. Votto comes set, facing off against the pitcher, Brady Peters. First pitch to Peters, low it outside, ball 1. Peters 0 for 1 in the ball game, grounded out in the first inning. A beautiful sac fly RBI in the third. Thought he had it over the head of the left fielder, Tellez. But Tellez retreated quickly and made the catch on the run. The 1-0 pitch up and in, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, no outs. Runner at third base for the Eagles here in the bottom of the 4th. 3 runs across has opened it up to a 6-run lead, 6-0 over the Vikings. Votto comes set, the 2-0 pitch. Low and outside, ball 3. So 3-0 the count to Brady Peters on deck. Talon Ball for the Eagles. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. As he waits in the wings here as Brady Peters back in from the right side. 3 balls, no strikes, no outs. Peterson down at third base. The 3-0 pitch. Outside corner called strike 1. Nice pitch there from Votto. Now we're starting to get a little interference from the wind out there, messing with our signals from the camera, so we apologize for any troubles there. The 3-1 pitch in there for a called strike. And now a 3-2 count. Full count with no outs to Peters. Votto comes set, the payoff pitch. Peters takes it, called strike 3 on a slow bender. For out number 1, strikeout looking. First strikeout for Votto, 3rd of the ball game of Eagle hitters for the Viking pitching. And with 1 out, in steps Talon Ball, the second baseman. Struck out in the 1st inning, hit by a pitch, and scored a run in the 3rd. Steps in here with Devin Peterson down at third base and 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Votto comes set from the stretch. The first pitch to Talon Ball. Ball grounds it foul down the third baseline. 0-1 the count. The junior second baseman on deck. The third baseman, Riley Leiniger. For Georgetown here in the bottom of the 4th. Keddy Votto will come set in the stretch. Peterson leads off third base. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled off back to the screen. 0-2 now the count to Talon Ball. Eagle hitters having to adjust. You look at different speeds coming from different pitchers here in the Viking staff. So having to sit back and wait on that. As that slow bender caught Brady Peters for strike 3 in his at-bat. Got him. Eagles hitters having to change that eye and see how fast that one's coming in. The 0-2 pitch. Talon Ball takes it low and outside, ball 1. Votto, a different delivery, a different look from him on the mound than for Ramirez. Talon Ball settles back in for the right side. Peterson leads off third base. A 1-2 count to Talon Ball here with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-2 pitch. Outside, ball 2. Count evens out at 2-2 now to the junior second baseman, Talon Ball. I think the Eagles would love to try to open this up and make this a run rule victory, advance to the area round and get out of here for a Saturday. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The 2-2 pitch. And Talon Ball waits on it, hits it into left center field. Shallow ball. Tella's on the run, coming in for it. Makes the catch, throws it in. But Peterson easily scores on the sac fly from third base. That'll be the 7th run of the ball game for the Eagles. A beautiful sacrifice fly RBI for Talon Ball. F7 in the book to make the out. But another RBI for Talon Ball. Scores Peterson. In steps Riley Leiniger with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. The base is empty. First pitch to Leiniger. Up and out for ball 1. Leiniger 0 for 1 in the ball game. Walked and scored a run in the 2nd inning. Popped out to the shortstop back in the 3rd inning. Steps in here with no runners on, 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-0 pitch, and Leiniger hits it down the right field line. If it is, get out, get out, get out. No, 1 hop right off the base of the wall. Leiniger around first base, headed to second. He's going to circle around second, and Riley Leiniger is going to cruise into third base with a stand-up triple. What a shot there by the big left-handed hitting third baseman Riley Leiniger. As he took that 1-0 pitch and put it a hop off the wall. Nice shot, the 2nd game in a row for a triple for Leiniger. He had a triple in the 3rd inning on Thursday night. So Riley Leiniger, beautiful shot there. Over the head of Torres in right field, all the way to 1 hop the wall. And in steps Eli Hellman. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game. A sac bunt in the 2nd inning. RBI single on an infield bunt in the third inning. Takes the first pitch, low and outside. Ball one. 7-0. Georgetown leads it over the Vikings here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 2 outs. A runner at third base, Hellman. Steps back in from the right side, ready to go. Votto comes set, the 1-0 pitch. And Hellman a swing and a miss, way out in front of that one. Hellman with a smile on his face as he was way out in front of that one. 1 ball and 1 strike to the senior shortstop. Jackson Rainey waits on deck. Should Hellman be able to extend the inning? The 1-1 pitch from Votto. That big breaking ball gets in there for a called strike. And it took its time getting there. And now Hellman behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Leininger down at third after the big 2-out triple. Just 90 feet away in scoring position. Hellman settles back in. Votto comes set. The 1-2 pitch. This one up and in. Just missed hitting the jersey of Hellman, and now evens out the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Little Napoleon Dynamite for your Saturday enjoyment there. From the PA, one of the best in the business. Chris Petty over there. The 2-2 pitch way outside. Nice block by Cervantes to keep it from getting past him and keeping Leininger down at third base. 3 balls and 2 strikes now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Eli Hellman. Third time up to the plate here in the ball game. A sac bunt in the second, a single on a bunt an RBI bunt single in the third. And now a full count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Votto comes set. Hellman ready to go. The payoff pitch. And that hit him. So Eli Hellman heads down to first base on the hit by pitch. Second batter hit by Viking pitchers here in the ball game.
Next up for the Eagles, your designated hitter, number 11, Jackson Rainey.
That'll bring up the DH, Jackson Rainey, 1 for 2 in the ball game. Had a single in the first, the second was left-stranded at third base. Flew out in the third. Eli Hellman will still second base. No throw down there. So they'll leave that as a defensive indifference for Eli Hellman. It's a 7-run lead. He gets into scoring position. Rainey back in the box from the left side. The 0-1 pitch. And that goes behind him. He gets away. Leininger's coming in from third base. And he'll score standing up, the 8th run of the ball game. They're going to Okay, they're going to say that it hit Rainey. So it does not give Leininger the score from third base. It just sends Rainey down to first base on the hit by pitch. Second batter in a row to be hit by a pitch by Votto. And in steps Andrew Nations. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Struck out in the second, walked and scored a run in the fourth inning to lead off this inning. So steps back in for a second plate appearance of the fourth inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs. The first pitch, Nations pops it back out of play over the clamshell. Strike 1. So the score remains 7-0. Now Nations led off the bottom of the fourth with the base on ball, scheming around to score the first run of the inning. And now the 0-1 pitch outside for ball 1. 1-1 the count. The Eagles loaded the bases here. Leininger stepped up. It was 2 outs and the base is empty. He had a 2-out triple and then back-to-back batters being hit by a pitch. And the bases loaded with 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch to Nations. He lays off and takes the slow bender in there for a called strike. Now Andrew behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. An opportunity here for Andrew Nations with runners on the bases for the Eagles and 2 outs. Bases loaded for the Eagles. Votto comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Nations a swing and a miss, strike 3. And the Eagles are down here in the bottom of the fourth. And not before they pick up 4 runs on one hit by Riley Leininger. No errors. And 3 runners left on board. After 4 complete innings, 7-0 your score. Georgetown leads it over Navarro. More baseball after this on SHN.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you.
We go to the top of the 5th inning. Neighbor Ramirez will lead things off for the Vikings. Ramirez, Galvan, and Tellez due up here in the top of the 5th inning. Ramirez steps in, 0 for 1 in the ball game with a strikeout looking. Peters on in his 3rd inning of work. First pitch fouled off down the first baseline, out of play. 4 strike 1. The Eagles picked up 4 runs on 1 hit, 1 error in the bottom of the 4th inning. Peters from the windup, the 0-1 pitch. Misses low, ball 1. 25 pitches through 2 innings for Brady Peters. He struck out 3 of the 6 batters. A beautiful pickoff to retire the only man to reach base. The 1-1 pitch outside corner. Called to strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Ramirez. Here in the top of the 5th, the Vikings trail it by 7. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on the 1-2 pitch. Brady Peters picks up his 4th strikeout. Number 1 here in the top of the 5th, and in steps Brandon Galvan, the second baseman. Galvan struck out swinging in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Steps in here with the bases empty and 1 out. In the top of the 5th, Peters from the windup, the first pitch. And the big bender up and over his head for ball 1. Chris Petty on his game at the PA over there today with a sound bite. 1-0 the count to Galvan. The 1-1 pitch. Look at that breaking pitch. What a pretty pitch by Brady Peters. Up and over the plate. Galvan thought it was coming inside to hit him. Broke over the inside corner for a called strike. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball off the plate. Fielded in foul territory. Pernica throws down anyway. And now it's 1-2, but heads up play there by the catcher Pernica. That would have been fielded in fair territory. It would have been a fair ball off of the plate. The 1-2 pitch misses outside, ball 2, and the count evens up at 2-2 now. To the second baseman, Brandon Galvan. The 2-2 pitch, and Galvan hit by the pitch. We'll head down to first base. Second base runner of the ball game for the Vikings. The first one reached on a base on balls. Cervantes back in the 4th inning, and then Peters proceeded to pick him off base. And now the second base runner of the ball game for the Vikings, Reese Wills Bell, member of the 2022 championship team, makes his way into the arena. Swing and a miss for strike 1 to Tellez. 0-1 to count. The 0-1 pitch from Peters. Fouled off back behind home plate. 0-2 now the count to Tellez. Over to first base. Galvan dives back in safely there. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Galvan leads off first, held on by Fluid. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout for Brady Peters, 5th of the ball game here in relief. Out number 2. And now comes up Carlos Adame, the first baseman. He lined out to the center fielder, Devin Peterson. Steps in from the right side. The first baseman ready to go. Peters from the stretch. The first pitch to Adame. The runner off, Galvan. Pernica throws down, and they're going to pick him off. What a job. Chance Pernica picks off the base runner, Galvan, trying to steal second base. 2-6 on the caught stealing for out number 3. And the Vikings are down here in the top of the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. After 4.5 innings, Georgetown 7, Navarro 0. More Eagle baseball after this on SHN.
The Morrow from Morrow broadcast booth is sponsored by our friend and longtime supporter Matt Morrow at borrowfrommorrow.com. Matt Morrow and his team is dedicated to providing the best mortgage experience possible by offering easy-to-use mortgage tools, including our handy mobile app, competitive rates, and assistance from a certified mortgage advisor. Matt understands the local markets, has access to a wide variety of loan programs, and is ready to guide you through the process. Your family, your future, our focus. For your mortgage needs, remember Matt Morrow. Borrow from Morrow. For more information, visit borrowfrommorrow.com. NMLS number 464148.
And we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Georgetown Eagles bring up the 8, 9, and 1 hitters against Ketty Votto. A 7-run lead for the Eagles, 7-0. As the Eagles bring up Chance Perdica, Jacob Faltasek, and Devin Peterson here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Perdica 0 for 1 in the ballgame, reached on a fielder's choice. Back of the 2nd inning, walked and scored a run in the 4th. First pitch, breaking pitch across there for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Pernica, the senior right-handed hitting catcher. Beautiful caught stealing to end the top of the 5th. 2-6 on the caught stealing of Galvan. The 0-1 pitch. Outside and skips over the glove of Cervantes. Comes back to him off the padding. 1-1 the count to Pernica as he leads off the bottom of the 5th here. The Eagles 3 runs away from a run rule. You know, and I know Coach doesn't really concerned about this, but it's prom night. These boys want to get out there, get out of here, and go get ready for prom to enjoy it, especially those seniors. The 1-1 pitch, sails just high. Ball 2. Votto comes set in the stretch. The 2-1 pitch to Pernica. Pernica sloughs. Oh, wow, what a shot. Way out in front of it. He may have hit the cars down at the pavilion as he's way out in front of that one. Pulls it down the left field line. Foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pernica. Two and 2 the count to Pernica as he leads off the bottom of the 5th. Votto comes set in the stretch. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking pitch misses outside. Ball 3. So now a full count to the senior catcher, Jacob Faltasek, the right fielder on deck. Devin Peterson, your center fielder, waits in the hole for the Eagles here in the bottom of the 5th inning. First round of the playoffs, the bi-district series, best of 3. The Eagles lead it 1-0, trying to settle this one in 2. The payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Votto, his 3rd strikeout of the ball game in relief. Gets out number 1 of Pernica. Now that'll bring up Jacob Faltasek. Faltasek 0 for 1 in the ball game. Struck out back in the 2nd inning. Walked and scored a run in the 4th. Steps here in the bottom of the 5th with 1 out and the base is empty. Votto comes set. The first pitch to Jacob. Faltasek takes it just high, ball 1. The winner of this series in bi-district round heads to the area round to face off against the winner of A&M Consolidated and the Belton Tigers. That series started yesterday, but I think got delayed by the weather as well. The 1-0 pitch, Faltasek fouls it back to the net for strike 1. 1-1 the count. Try to follow up on Texas high school baseball. See if anything shows underway today here in Region 3. Votto comes set, the 1-1 pitch. Big Bender stays high for ball 2. 2-1 the count now to Jacob Faltasek. McCallum and Eastview underway at 11 o'clock. No update on the game yet. McCallum trails that series. McCallum leads that series over Eastview. 1-0 after a 13-11 win on Thursday night. The 2-1 pitch fouled off back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Jacob Faltasek. Belton and A&M Consolidated will get underway in Game 1 today at 2 p.m. Game 2 scheduled 30 minutes after that one, and Game 3 if needed on Monday. The 2-2 count. 2-2 pitch, low and outside, ball 3. Breaking pitch missed there, and now a full count to Jacob Faltasek with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 5th, Eagles lead at 7-0 over the Vikings. ATC Contractors Inc. brings you this bi-district playoff series. The payoff pitch, Faltasek pops it up right by the side of the infield. Galvan calls for it at second base, and he'll settle under it and make the catch for out number 2. P4 in the book. To retire Faltasek, and in steps Devin Peterson. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Flew out in the 1st, singled and scored a run in the 3rd, and then reached on an error in the 4th inning and scored another run. Elgin beat Austin Crockett last night 9-1 to advance. They're the runner-up at District 23. So Elgin advances to the area round. First pitch to Peterson. Down in the turf, gets away from Cervantes. 1 ball and no strikes to the center fielder, Devin Peterson. And then Pflugerville and Lassa. Pflugerville, the 3rd seed out of District 23, playing the runner-up from District 24. The 1-0 pitch inside corner, called strike 1. Peterson now evens up the count, 1-1. Pflugerville beat Lassa yesterday, 12-0. So they lead that best of 3 series, 1-0. The 1-1 pitch, Peterson, base hit in between the 5 and 6 hole into left field. Gets under the glove of the left fielder, Tellez. Peterson's got wheels, and he may score on this one. He's around second. He's headed to third base on a full tilt. Coach waving him around. The umpire gets in the way, but Devin Peterson is going to score on the single to left field. And a 3-base error. Devin Peterson circles the bases there. I thought once he got to open up, he might come all the way around, and he does. 8-0 now. Georgetown leads it. So a single and a 3-base error. Third base umpire Devin Peterson almost collided full speed, but Devin able to miss him and get around him into home plate to score the 8th run of the ball game. So a little noise here in the bottom of the 5th, an 8-run lead for the Eagles. In steps Talon Ball. First pitch in there for a called strike. Talon 0 for 2 in the ball game. Grounded out in the 1st, an RBI sac fly in the 3rd, and a strikeout looking in the 4th. Correction, this is Brady Peters. I apologize. I gave you his stats, but it is Brady Peters in there. 0-1 the pitch. Inside, ball 2. 1-1 now the count. Sorry, said ball 2. 1-1 the count to Brady Peters. Votto comes set, the 1-1 pitch. Peters grounds it down the third baseline, but pulled foul. Look at, oh my goodness, Coach Vieira, barehanded stop. I got to give him credit. 1-2. Now the count to the senior pitcher, Brady Peters. Started the ball game at third base. Came on in relief here in the bottom of the second today, or top of the second today. The 1-2 pitch to Peters. Lays off, takes it low and outside. The count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes to the senior pitcher. Votto, a long look in. Now comes set in the stretch. The 2-2 pitch to Brady Peters. Inside, ball 3, and now a full count. The Eagles another 2-out rally as Devin Peterson got a single into left field. It went right under the glove of Tellez as he came in to play it. And Devin Peterson came all the way around to score the run with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. The payoff pitch to Peters. Low and outside, ball 4. And Peters heads down, another 2-out base runner here for the Eagles. Second walk issued by Votto since he came on in relief. And now here's a visit from Coach Jacob Anderson of the Vikings. We'll take a quick timeout. Give us an opportunity to thank our sponsor, ATC Contractors, Inc., here on SHN.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you. Brought to you by Nathaniel Funk, your Leander, Georgetown, Edward Jones financial advisor at 1640 Highland Falls Drive, Suite 801, Leander, Texas 78641. Learn how he can help you with your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com/Nathaniel Funk for more.
We're back here live at Eagle Field, Georgetown High School, here in game number 2 of this best of 3 series in the bi-district round. Thanks in part fully to ATC Contractors, Inc., sponsoring this bi-district playoff series. The shortstop, Bryce Pascal, comes on to relief. Ketty Votto, the pitcher, will go to shortstop. Defensively for the Navarro Vikings, Brady Peters, the pitcher, comes off of first base. Noah Boris on to run for Peters at first base. Boris leads off first base. In steps Talon Ball with 2 outs. Boris off and running. The pitch inside as Boris cruises into second base. So 2 outs and a runner at second. 1-0 count to Talon Ball. The 1-0 pitch. Talon Ball hits it out towards short. Votto backhands it. He's going to throw it across the diamond, but not in time to get Talon Ball. And the ball sails over the head of Adame. That'll move up Talon Ball to second base and allow Noah Boris to score all the way from second base. Should be a base hit. As the ball would have beat that throw to first base as it was down the hole, backhanded by Votto. We'll see what they officially score it here on the game changer from the dugout. But nonetheless, it's a 9-0 lead as Riley Leininger steps back in. And they're going to call it an error on the shortstop. But Boris scores from second base. The 9th run of the ball game, and now Leininger steps in. A base hit, scores Talon Ball, and the ball game ends. First pitch to Leininger, down low, ball 1. So an error on the shortstop, Votto. Allows the run to score. And Talon Ball to move up to second base. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled back out of play. 4 strike one. 1-1 to count to Riley Leininger. Leininger 1 for 2 in the ball game. Walked in the second and scored a run. Popped out in the third. Tripled back in the fourth. Was left stranded there. Steps in here. A 1-1 count from Pascal. Leininger pop fly into left field. Talon Ball off and running. It's into shallow left field. And it's going to fall between. Are they going to say Torres caught that? All right. Torres caught it. He came in as he cruises back to left field. But that's the third out of the inning. They said Torres. Okay, here we go. I guess Torres didn't realize it was third out. He makes the catch. F7, the basket catch there for out number 3. And we go to the top of the 6th. The Eagles get 2 runs there on 1 hit, 2 errors, and leave 1 runner on base. After 5 complete innings, Georgetown 9, Navarro nothing. We'll be back with more Eagle baseball after this. Here at Eagle Field in the SHN broadcast booth, brought to you by Matt Morrow and Borrow from Morrow. For all your mortgage needs, remember Matt Morrow and Borrow from Morrow. Visit borrowfrommorrow.com. Your future, your family, our focus. Matt Morrow, great friend of SHN, proud sponsor of Georgetown Eagle Sports. Peters on to work the top of the 6th inning, misses just low. For ball 1 to Carlos Adame, the first baseman. He's 0 for 1 on a line out to center field. Steps in here to lead off the top of the 6th for the Vikings. The 1-0 pitch. Ground ball hit out towards second. Talon Ball ranges to his left. He'll field it, throw it to Fluid at first. For out number 1. 4-3 on the putout to retire Adame. That'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Chris Torres, the right fielder. The right fielder, Torres, steps in. He struck out back in the 3rd inning. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Brady Peters on for his 4th inning of relief work here in the ballgame. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. 1 out here in the top of the 6th, base is empty. Torres steps back in, the 0-2 pitch from Peters. Misses outside, ball 1. Good spot to miss there to see if Torres would chase, and now 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Peters from the windup. The 1-2 pitch. That went up and in. Torres gets out of the way. 2-2 now the count. On deck, Brian Nieto, the center fielder for the Vikings. Peters, the 2-2 pitch. Inside, just missed for ball 3, and now a full count here. 37 pitches through 3 innings thrown by Peters in relief. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings as he ended the 6th here. The payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. Torres down for the 2nd time on strikes in the ballgame. That's the 6th strikeout for Brady Peters in relief. And now 2 outs here in the top of the 6th, and in steps Brian Nieto, the center fielder. He's 0 for 1, struck out in the 3rd inning. Steps in here. 2 outs in the top of the 6th. First pitch just misses inside, ball 1. I want to know the count to Nieto. Ketty Votto, the number 1 hitter for the Vikings on deck. The 1-0 pitch. Outside corner just misses for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Brian Nieto, the center fielder. The 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Brady Peters reared back there, brought the fastball Nieto unable to catch up to it. Peters now, the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike two. The count evens up now to Nieto, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 9 strikeouts of Viking hitters in the ballgame combined between Peters and Jondal. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking pitch stays just high. And a full count to Nieto now with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. The payoff pitch from Peters. Ground ball hit out towards short. Hellman will backhand it. And Nieto will reach on an error. So another base runner here in the ball game. Reaches on something other than a hit.
Next up, number 21, Ketty.
So now Ketty Votto will come up. The first base runner of the ball game reached on a base on balls back in the 4th inning. Cervantes, he was picked off by Peters. A 1-3 on the pickoff. And then Galvan last inning was hit by a pitch, but then he was caught trying to steal second base by Pernica. 2-6 on the caught stealing. And now the third base runner of the ball game is Nieto. Reaches on the error by the shortstop, Eli Hellman. And now that'll bring up Ketty Votto. Votto 0 for 2 in the ball game. Ground out and a strikeout. First pitch from Peters. Misses low, ball 1. One and 0 the count with 2 outs and a runner at first. Peters from the stretch, the 1-0 pitch. Inside, ball 2. Two balls and no strikes. The 2-0 pitch, the runner off. Pernica will throw down. And the throw sells on him. And Nieto slides through the bag, almost comes off of it. But a stolen base has the first base runner of the ball game into scoring position for the Vikings. Nice steal of second base there by Nieto. Throw sailed on Pernica a little bit. Talonball had to go up and get it. And now a 3-0 count. And I guess they called that one a strike. Now 3-1 to count. It was 2-1, now 3-1. To the leadoff man, Ketty Votto. Peters comes set. The 3-1 pitch. The ball hit out into center field. The first hit of the ball game. Devin Peterson up with it. He's going to come up and throw, and that'll be all the way to home plate. But Nieto was held up at third base. So the first hit of the ball game, the first hit of the series, there by Ketty Votto into center field for a single. Breaks up the 2-game running no-hitter by Eagle pitching.
Number 2, Damian Cervantes.
So Damian Cervantes, the catcher, will come up with runners on the corners. Cervantes trying to get his catcher's gear off as he kept it on with the 2 outs. And now he'll step up with runners on the corners and 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Vikings trying to make a little bit of noise here, down by 9-0. Peters comes set in the stretch. The first pitch to Cervantes, up and in, ball 1. Can't tell if the Eagles have anybody warming up at the bullpen thanks to the indoor facility down the third base line. So it's unknown if Coach has anyone going or Brady Peters, it's on him. A throw over to first base. A nice throw over there, and Votto just dives back in safely. Nieto down at third base. Votto down at first base, being held on by Fluid. Peters comes set. The 1-0 pitch. Votto off and running. Pernica fakes the throw down. He'll allow Votto to steal second base to keep the runner at third. Second stolen base of the ball game for the Vikings. 2-0 the count to the catcher, Damian Cervantes, with Bryce Pascal, the pitcher on record for the Vikings, on deck. Now Cervantes will call time at home plate, step out and reset. 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. The Vikings with runners on second and third. Georgetown leads at 9-0. Cervantes back in, the 2-0 pitch. Sails high, ball 3. Got to think if anybody's warming up, it'll either be Brandon Stovall or Kyle Ropolo. And the 3-0 pitch low for ball 4. Loads up the bases for the Vikings. Here in the top of the 6th, second walk by Peters here in relief. in his fourth inning of work.
Next up, number 4,
And that'll bring up Bryce Pascal. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Grounded out in the first, flew out to center in the fourth inning. Steps in here with the bases loaded. Peters back to the windup with the runners on. First pitch to Pascal, breaking pitch, inside corner, called strike one. Reminiscent to game one, a bases loaded jam for the Eagles in the top of the second, or bottom of the second. And now a bases loaded jam here. The 0-1 pitch on the inside corner, called strike two. 0-2 down to Pascal. The 0-2 pitch. Peters up over the head of Pascal for ball one. 1-2 the count. An opportunity here for the Eagles to get out of this bases loaded jam with no damage done. Peters gets the sign. The 1-2 pitch. And a ball hit out in front of home plate. Pernicka will field it on a hop, throw to first base, and the Eagles get out of the jam just like that. 1-3 on the putout. We're out number 3 to retire Pascal. And the Vikings are down here in the top of the 6th. No runs on one hit, one error, and 3 runners left on base. After 5.5 innings, 9-0, Georgetown leads it. More Eagle baseball after this on it.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you.
Here at Eagle Field in the SHN broadcast booth, brought to you by Matt Morrow and Borrow from Morrow. For all your mortgage needs, remember Matt Morrow and borrowfrommorrow.com. Pascal on to work the bottom of the 6th for the Vikings. Came in relief. Last inning for the Vikings. He'll face off against the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the Eagle lineup. Due up is Hellman, Rainey, and Nations. The Eagles have 9 runs on 5 hits, 1 error. The Vikings no runs on 1 hit and 3 errors. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 1 run across here in the bottom of the 6th. We'll end this one an inning early. If the Eagles can put 1 more up and end this by-district series. Thank you so much to AT Contractors, Inc., ATC Contractors, Inc., for sponsoring the by-district series that helps bring you free baseball on our YouTube channel here at SHN. And UIL this year allowing the broadcast to remain free as long as we apply, and we have got sponsors lined up for every series the Eagles play in. And so thank you so much to those sponsors of Eagle Baseball. Hellman bunts it out in front of the mound. Pascal fields it. He'll throw to first base, but just in time to get Hellman 1-3 on the putout. For out number 1. And now Jackson Rainey will step in. Rainey, the DH, is 1 for 2 in the ball game. A single in the second, fly out in the third, hit by a pitch in the 4th inning. Steps in here with 1 out. In the bottom of the 6th, base is empty. Pascal works from the windup. The first pitch to Rainey, up and out for ball 1. Rainey back in from the left side, ready to go. The 1-0 pitch from Pascal. Misses down low, ball 2. Looks like a pinch hitter on deck for the Eagles. You'll see it right, it's number 16. That'll be Reese Herrera in the on-deck circle. The 2-0 pitch to Rainey. Misses low and inside, ball 3. 3-0 count now to Rainey. Reese Herrera on deck to pinch hit in the number 7 slot. The 3-0 pitch in there for a called strike. 3-1 now the count. Rainey was taking all the way there. The junior DH steps back in from the left side. 3 balls and 1 strike with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. The 3-1 pitch down in the turf for ball 4, a 1-out walk. Brings up Reese Herrera, the pinch hitter. Coach Vieira calls that out.
Next up for the Eagles, number 16, Reese Herrera.
Reese Herrera will pinch hit here in the number 7 slot for Andrew Nations. Herrera, the junior catcher, steps in here from the right side for his first plate appearance in the ball game. Randy will lead off first base. Adame holds him on. He'll take off on the pitch. The first pitch in there for a called strike. And Randy still second base. Well, the stolen base puts the game-ending run into scoring position at second base. 0-1 count to Herrera, the 0-1 pitch. And that'll hit Herrera. So now runners on first and second on the hit by pitch. 4th batter hit by a pitch by Viking pitching.
Next up for the Eagles, number 7.
That'll bring up Chance Pernica. So Reese Herrera will head down to first base. With 1 out, the runners on first and second. The runner's off, Rainey off to third, and he'll steal third. And it goes off of Ramirez. Jackson Rainey headed for home. Is this going to end the series? It does. Jackson Rainey scores as it went off the glove of Ramirez. And Rainey comes in to score the 10th run of the ball game, and that will end the ball game 10-0. Georgetown wins it over the Vikings. The Bi-District Series champions, your Georgetown Eagles, win it 2-0 over the Navarro Vikings. They improved to 22-12-1 on the year and advanced to the area championship. They'll face off against the winner of Belton High School and A&M Consolidated. Next week, those 2 teams could play into Monday, so watch your social media, EFND Baseball, their Facebook page. Coach Vieira will put that out there, and we'll try to bring it to you free on SHN Sports. AT Contractors, Inc. brought you the Bi-District Series. Thank you so much to ATC Contractors, Inc. for bringing you this series free of charge here on SHN. We'll play their commercial. I head down to the field and visit with Coach Jordan Vieira here on SHN in just a moment.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you.
Martin Vieira by-district championship for this Eagle team, a 2-game sweep in the by-district series. I tell you what, first off, I've got to thank ATC Contractors Inc. brought us free baseball, and we love it here on SHN, and UIL is allowing us to do that this year, and proud sponsors that bring it to us so our fans can watch this. A 2-game sweep in a run rule fashion. The Eagles get in and out of this after a rain delay last night. I thought Brady Peters came in, locked down, did a good job in performance there in relief. Talk to us about this win as we advance now to the area.
Yeah, Brady Peters did a great job. He came in and filled up the zone for the most part. Played pretty good defense behind it, only allowed 1 hit. And so he did a great job. We were able to steal bags and be able to apply pressure on the defense and get the timely hits when we needed to. We came out and we took care of business the way that we need to today.
Talking about your pitching in this series, you face a team like Navarro. Obviously, a tough assignment for them to face off against a team like Georgetown. But your pitching staff only allows 1 hit in a 2-game combo and 2 run rule games.
Yeah.
How does that fare for your pitching staff? Not a lot of pitchers using this one, so fresh arms coming into the area.
Yeah, we were able to fill up the strike zone, and we were able to be in the strike zone pretty good. We got a pretty good chance of being successful, and our guys threw a lot of strikes. I believe we only allowed 5 walks in the 2 games, and it's good stuff. So hopefully we can continue to keep that trend moving forward and continue to attack the strike zone and play quality defense.
Next Wednesday night, we'll have the coaches show. A lot of things up in the air with the weather next week on the area around Belton and Belton and A&M Consolidated could go into Monday to play. And so just a suggestion, everyone watch the social medias. You're going to put that out and to follow up because the Eagles do advance on to the area round for 2nd year in a row, at least, in a good run for the Eagles. Congrats, Coach.
Thank you.
And we'll visit.
Appreciate you.
The Eagles victorious 2-0 over the Navarro Vikings to advance to the area round of the playoffs. Thanks in parts to 2-game, and it worked. The wire stayed under it. 2 run rule games over the Navarro Vikings. The win here today, 10-0 in 6 innings, advances them to face off against A&M Consolidated or the Belton Tigers. Stay tuned to your social medias, ATC Constructors Inc.com. Remember to visit them and to thank them as they brought you SHN Sports free of charge to all the listeners out there. We appreciate their sponsorship. Thanks for joining us today. Enjoy your weekend. And remember, it doesn't cost you a dime to be kind. Have a good weekend, everybody.